Masti, and welcome to this new video series where I have a conversation with creators from New York City. And today we have,
Krathish.
and what do you do?
I'm a product designer.
So, Krathish, what brings you to New York City?
So I'm here to study at Pratt Institute, which is a design institute in New York. I'm studying information experience design, which is a master's program.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? What did you study before coming to Pratt, and what you're doing at Pratt?
Yeah. So I studied information technology, which is essentially computer science, in Manipal University, Jaipur. And before this, I've also worked as an intern in 5 companies and then also full time for like a year. And all of those positions were product design, even though my degree was in computer science. So I just made that switch early on in my undergrad. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of experience for someone who is just 23.
Yeah.
That's
This is actually my 6th internship that I'm doing currently.
that's crazy. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you're working on now?
So I'm working for a company called Noto, which essentially creates these dash cams, which uses predictive AI to predict whether the drivers of like these large trucks like FedEx and Coca-Cola and all who are transporting, if they're like feeling drowsy, if they're driving correctly. So we help them with coaching. We also like give alerts in case there's like a crash or something that's about to happen.
That's very interesting. So, what skills do you need to be in this position? You said you're a product designer, and
Yeah.
so what are some things that one should know, or the tools that one should use to be able to get here where you are?
Yeah. So for product design in general, you need to know Figma. You need to know just basic product thinking, which you can only all of these tools and frameworks and all you just learn on the go. So um, in my case, I also have a specialization in AI because I've studied it from a technical perspective, but I also am pretty interested in it. So that was one of the reasons why I got this internship because um, the projects that I showcased in my interviews were only like AI focused.
Okay, that's super interesting, and it sounds like you're doing so many things while I can't understand how it's all like coming together. So all of these things like with AI, tech, product design, did you learn everything in college, or as you said you had like so many internships, so is it something that you picked on?
So product design, I exclusively learned through internships. I just for Figma, I used to like go on YouTube and just like search specific things, how to like do that, how to do this, and then now that I've been practicing so many, like you just need to do reps. So the more amount of like projects you do, more every time you make a new file, you're just like increasing your skill set because you just know how to do things faster. Um, and yeah, sorry, what was the rest of the question?
No, that's good. So
Yeah.
I was just trying to understand your journey from, because you're doing so
Yeah.
many things.
The
and
AI part is just I think just keeping up with like the news and also like understanding it from a technical perspective, which I had like the opportunity to learn in my undergrad when I studied computer science. So that now I don't exactly code, but I have to like design those products and like match it to like people's problems and how those features can solve those problems. So understanding what features are possible and how those things work help a lot.
that's really really interesting and sounds, I want to know more about it, but maybe for another video. But I want to know, since you've been in New York for 1 year now,
Yeah.
how has Pratt contributed to this journey, or do you think your journey was, or maybe like New York City, how has New York City contributed to your whole experience here?
Yeah. So I visited New York in 2017 and I was absolutely like taken aback by how amazing the city is. I think it's everything that everyone talks about, it lives up to it. And then I just decided to come here for my master's. I knew that I wanted to be in a big city, which is a very important deciding factor for all my master's programs. So it was either this city or Seattle or San Francisco. I wanted to be in one of those cities because it's important to, for a master's program, at least to be close to like all the companies. And that actually has translated in a beautiful way because in Pratt, most of the teachers are visiting professors, which means that they do a full-time job and then on one day of the week they come and teach you. So I've had professors from Google, from Amazon, from MoMA, um, from JP Morgan, and they all are like in very high positions, and for them to relate their experience to it, it's pretty helpful.
That's wonderful. Sounds like you get a lot of industry exposure within this academic setting
Yeah,
itself, which
they're
is
actually your first industry connections that you make.
right,
Yeah.
right. So, did you enjoy your time at Pratt? You still have another year to go. Would you say?
Yeah. I think in the starting I was it almost felt like I'm not going to learn anything much and it's just going to be like a certification. But I've actually learned so much more in terms of collaboration, in terms of like understanding what makes a good designer. I think it's all been like recalibrated for me.
That's really nice to hear. And
Yeah.
for someone who is maybe just starting out in New York City, or a designer who's just starting out their career, do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, for someone who's planning to move for masters,
Just starting out a career maybe in New York City or as a designer.
yeah, I think my advice would be don't let other people like for an outsider. I think it's very intimidating to how like these designers operate, and like how like there's like an almost like an ego and like you can't do this. But I think it's just like you just enter and then you just like allow yourself those experiences, and no matter what you have to, everyone has to start at the scratch. So I think, yeah, to just be that, don't be intimidated.
Your journey did sound a little intimidating, to be honest. I
Yeah, but
wouldn't lie.
actually in most of those points it's not been a linear journey. It's just that now that I look back I can connect those dots, and in that moment I was always like questioned by like my friends, my family, about what am I doing, because I didn't even sit for my final year placements. I Yeah, and so it's been like quite an interesting journey, but I think that's what makes the journey a good story to tell later on.
Mm. It's so
Yeah.
detailed. Thank you for that. So one last question. As an interaction designer slash product designer navigating through the space, what is your next step looking like? Do you have something planned out for the coming months?
Yeah, so I'm currently interning at this place and I would love a return offer, obviously. But on a higher level, I'm going to graduate in May 2026, and I want to potentially work with a company which is in the AI space and possibly for build products which are like 0 to 1 or 1 to 100. And yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to.
That's awesome, and that's so exciting. Wish you
Yeah.
all the best for it.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for taking out some time for
Thank you for
our
having me on
video.
this. Yeah.
You're most welcome. And thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you have any more questions for Krathish, please drop them down in the comments below and we'll try to answer them in the next video. Thank you.